Okay, we're at the east wall. We're heading counterclockwise across the structure. This is the kitchen area. It's a breakfast area. We have some erosion right here along the foundation perimeter. See these little holes right here? Those little circles? That tells us that this is a post-tension cable slab foundation on grade. There's several different types of post-tension. I don't know which type it is, but it is a post-tension cable. We have a series clean out right here for the kitchen area. That's not the main clean out, but we do have a clean out right there. And coming on along, where do termites live? In the ground. What do they eat? Dead wood. What's wood mulch? Dead wood on the ground next to your house. That's called a clue. It's called a clue. This is conducive to wood destroying insects. This is conducive to termites. A tree shouldn't be placed any closer than 25 feet to a foundation. The roots will suck the much needed water that the foundation needs. It needs a consistent amount of water, sucks the water, like this right here, all this drying, sucks the water out from underneath the foundation. As the roots grow, they push, they cause cracking. So, do I have trees too close to my house? You bet. If I talk to my wife about getting rid of them, I sure have. Anything happen? No. No, she likes those trees. We had the discussion, though. We had the discussion. Okay, a rain gutter butt in should not be closer than 1 inch to the wall siding, and we should have kick-out flashing anytime the vertical wall meets the drainage plane. We should have kick-out flashing to divert the water into the rain gutter and away from the structure. Otherwise, with this gutter as close as it is and without kick-out flashing, water is going to come down the side of the building. We have that in several areas around here. Several areas. The pergola is not attached to the house. It's really not part of the structure. It's beyond the scope of this inspection. However, I've been going around. I haven't turned any lights on yet. Now, this is cedar, and a characteristic of the cedar material is that it's called checking. And checking does not, and I'm going to say this is kind of excessive checking, at the end of the report under, optional systems, but I will report on it. And, I called this excessive checking out on a new house, and they had me come out for the 1 year later, and the builder caulked it up, and so the checking wasn't there any longer. I didn't really have anything to say about it, but I am told this doesn't have anything to do with the structure of the post, and that the post is going to hold every bit as much weight as it ever was going to hold. I talked to a guy at the lumber yard, and at some point somebody decided that this stick would go on the truck, and they left another stick at the lumber yard. And so this one doesn't have that kind of checking, this one doesn't have that kind of checking, this one doesn't have that kind of checking. But for whatever reason, this stick made it onto the truck. Somebody made it a business decision. They thought it would look good here, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why the decision was. It might have been the only one that was available. I don't know. But we do have some excessive checking here. Also, our post, whether it's over here, and they put this metal around them, this little skirt. Okay, that skirt is not to protect the wood from rotting, because it won't. It's to protect the wood from weed whackers. We don't have weed whackers over here, so they didn't put the metal over here. This will not protect the pergola from termites or wood rot. Moving on along, now we got our covered patio. We got our arches. This is the west arch. Remember, the house faces south. All right, we got some pretty good cracking right in here. And it comes right on along. It comes up here. Okay, we've got some movement here. This is going to be curious. I haven't measured anything yet. Wood mulch next to the house. Bushes next to the house. That's conducive to wood destroying insects. I haven't been in the attic yet, but I can tell that we've got continuous soffit vents. So we're going to be looking for continuous soffit vent baffles when we get there. Moving on along. I'm not sure what this vent here is for. There's our fireplace fresh air vent. It's going to be interesting to find out what that's about. And this is as good a time as any because we're going to get there soon enough. Well, first, this is the primary bedroom suite, bedroom window on the south wall. We've got some cracking between the brick and the mortar. Now around the foundation perimeter, we have these things called weep holes because brick is a very good building material. It's a very solid building material. This home could burn down and you could still use the brick. It's a good insulator, both for heat transfer and for sound. But one thing about the nature of brick and mortar is that it's porous. And if the lawn sprinkler hits it, water's going to go right through there. When the rain hits it, it goes right through there. We've designed, I have to assume that it's there, but we've designed a drainage plane behind the brick where your wood walls are, because this is really a stick-built house. This is a wood house. We've got a drainage plane that comes down. You won't usually see water come out of a weep hole. It's usually, by the time it gets that far down, we're probably dealing with vapor unless you have an event. I've seen a couple of events. I hope you don't. But I've seen a couple of events, and you know, the water will come out. The water will come out. So up here, or on this window, what I'm getting at is we got a metal lintel, and we've interrupted the drainage plane. And so we have weep holes above any window. The arches do not take a weep hole. We have not interrupted the drainage plane. But over here, we have weep holes over these windows. We're supposed to have weep holes over our windows. Wood mulch, high soil. Fence touches the house by design. That's conducive by design. We have a whole video for the condensing units, so that's a good thing. Moving on along, this is all fine. This piping right here, okay, that's a secondary drain line for your evaporator coils for your air conditioning systems. I probably should have put it in this video. We install them over windows, so when you see the water dripping, you know that you got a problem. You call the technician. Wood mulch again. This condensing unit's a little unlevel. I talked about, this is probably the safety pan drain line right here. This third one, the south one, that's probably, the other two are probably for your water heaters, and it's broken off. It should have a 90-degree elbow on it. It should discharge towards the ground. Gas meter coming into the house. I can't say, it's been wrapped. It's been wrapped and painted. That's a good thing. You know what I'm not finding? I'm not finding electrical bonding. I'm not finding any electrical bonding. And what we hear a lot is that if the indoor air handlers, the furnaces, if they're bonded electrically, then that magically, you know, creates a bond. I don't know that that's enough bonding. I really don't. So the gas isn't bonded. This is where our electric meter is. Tree's too close. This is a cute little kitten right now, but that's going to grow up to be a nasty old tomcat. Got a little bit of separation right here. And then when we get this part of the house, check this out. We do not have weep holes over our lintels. We do not have weep holes. Okay, drainage plane has been disrupted. We do not have weep holes. We do not have weep holes over our garage car entries. Either one of them. Either one of them. Got a little bit of wood rot going on right here. Look at that. See that? I'll try and get a picture of that later. Alright, we got a little bit of cracking right in here. And again, the rain gutter butt ends next to the house. We do not have kick out flashing. Coming along here, we got some cracking between the brick and mortar. But check this out. Our lintel, that's this metal bar. Goes across here, steel bar. You see how it's rusting and stuff? You see how it's going, and see the gaps? Okay, you've disrupted the drainage plane has been disrupted. But the water is going to come out. I mean, the water's just sitting here. Not so much on this one. Maybe because it's the location. Maybe some of the location. It definitely has something to do with the width. So it's not collecting as much water. This one collects more water, enough water, so that this issue starts manifesting. So we've got a little bit of movement right there. Some of our rain gutters are above grade, some of them are below grade. wood mulch next to the house again. Coming on along, we got some cracking between the brick and mortar right here. Excuse me, well, brick too, but the masonry. Got a bit of cracking right up in there. Got a little bit of cracking over this one, not as predominant, not as notable. Got a little bit of cracking on this corner right here, and again, not as notable. You can barely see this in the sun. Got a little bit of cracking over our portico arched entrance. Again, rain gutters too close. We do not have kick out flashing. Tree touching the roof right there a little bit. Moving on, that's the front, that's the south side. Keep going. A little bit of separation and cracking along this window. This is the downstairs office study. This is still the downstairs office study. We got a little bit of cracking underneath this little window ledge right here. Trees too close, remember that. Because what's it going to do is going to make the house move, is it really? So you got a big old hairy crack like that? Yeah, a big old hairy crack like that. And then we got a little bit of separation from our ceiling in this window, so it's kind of been kicking around a little bit. Coming on along, this right here is called a control joint. Some people call them expansion joints. Call them what you will. But those are there by design, just like we have control joints in the street. We know, we're in North Texas. We know this home is going to move. Hopefully, it moves along this control joint instead of through the brick like it did over there. And probably would have liked to have seen, a few more control joints. But there we have it. That's a control joint, and that's the only one I can remember seeing on the house. So, coming on along, fences are conducive by design. Bushes conducive.